So, season 2. How is Elijah dealing with the fallout from the end of season 1? There's a war brewing, the baby is gone. How is he?
You're going to answer this for me?
I would love to hear your answer.
No, I'm just teasing you. I think in the wake of that kind of apocalypse, it's an awkward new beginning, and I think that the kind of there's a necessary sort of distance that needs to be sort of observed between Elijah and Klaus and Haley, which unfortunately has that sort of requisite emotional distance as well. Weirdly enough, they're in the compound, and I think 2 to 3 months I think has elapsed since we saw them last. And I think even within the creation of the ruse of like I'm not with our child has died, I think there's a true sort of tragedy in that, and so because they're kind of symbiotically experiencing this ruse together, i.e. fabricating it together, there's a collective gloom, I think, about it. And I think Elijah's the one sort of holding the reins on this chariot, saying, we are going to exact our revenge at this moment. I think he has a real strategy and a real plan, as he always kind of does, in order to sort of usurp the kingdom, once again. But I think Klaus is probably more like a caged beast, which is one handful of difficulties. And I think Haley's probably not too different, and that she probably is going a little insane, but not just being away from her kid, but wanting revenge as well.
Is Elijah just fully going to go back into being closed off about his feelings for Haley?
He can't afford to. At the moment he's sacrificing to, he's leading them. He's leading them. He can't. Like, somebody has to be sort of a degree of lucidity.
So no Haley and Elijah goodness for a while.
I don't know about that. Sometimes in the midst of mayhem, wonderful and romantic things can happen, and that's all I'll say.
What's the plan? Just like I'm always amazed that Elijah is so loyal to Klaus. So how much he takes you and puts you in the box for a while, for however many years or months. Like, you always just have that brotherly connection. I mean, I don't know, the CW show seems good all the time with like Supernatural, Vampire Diaries with Damon and Stefan, and you and Klaus have that amazing relationship. I mean, do you think, is Elijah still, how does he keep it going?
I don't know. Cocaine? I mean, it's bizarre, isn't it? Like,
It seems like you should run away or something.
Listen, honestly, you asking me the question, like, I'm perplexed by it. Like, I'm constantly, like, asking the creators, because I couldn't act it after a little while. I just said, I don't know what to do. Like, I don't know what you're doing. Like, I didn't understand this. It's too, the pendulous swings of, like, Klaus's desires, where it took everybody else along for the ride, and I was like, it just didn't make any sense to me. It didn't make any sense to me because no one would seem to be trying to wrangle any kind of position, And I'm with you. I totally agree with you that why does he endure it? And I just had to make it a disease. I had to make it his disease. Because who in their right mind over the course of a millennium would like support this creature, so I made him sort of like, somebody who has a drug addict in the family, someone who's an enabler. You see that on those shows all the time. What's the show? Intervention. Yeah, thank you. Those shows are so silly, but you see parents kind of constantly who are like, well, he seems sort of so upset, so I let him in the house, and look, I just gave him $20 because he needed, I feel like that's sort of Elijah, like, who sort of holds out hope for this small part of him that might be a glorious king, but truthfully, I think even the most ardent fans of Klaus know that he's not great king material. He just isn't. Like, what kind of king? He's not going to be Solomon. He's not going to be Solomon. He's going to be a tyrant. Like, no matter what, like, even if he has periods of being good, he's going to be awful pretty soon. That's kind of why we love him. So Elijah's going to be this, like, it's like, what does Obi-Wan Kenobi say to, now I'm showing my nerddom.
about Vader?
Yeah,
He's more machine.
no. Obi-Wan Kenobi says to Han Solo and Star Wars, he says, "Who's the more foolish, the fool or the fool who follows him?" And that applies to Klaus and Elijah. I closed on a nerd